Masechah Shabbos DAF Gziera. The Gemara says that someone's menar talisoy b'Shabbos is chayiv chatos lo yamarn el b'chadati avla tiki less than, but only a new one and not a old beged. And Mar says further, only if you makbid on it, but if you're not makbid on it, then you're not chayiv. Ein Rabbeinu Chananel, that's discussing that is tal on your beged, and if you're menar, you're chayiv chatos. What's make a difference if you're copied or you're not copied? If you're being menarit, if you're wiping off your beged from the dew that's on it and it's cleaning it, you should be chayiv. What's the difference? How much it makes a difference to you or not? So the Rashba over here says a tremendous chiddush that if you copied, then it's a psik ratio and you're chayiv. However, if it's loy copied, it's einem eskaven and doesn't have a lot of psik to be over the isser of libun. Ein the sueeze Yaakov that asked that Rashba is tzarech here, and why only if you're copied then it's a psik ratio. If it's copied, it's meskaven mamish, you be malabin it, and if it's loy copied, why is it considered einem eskaven? So the sueeze Yaakov explains that the libun over here is not just taking off the dew, it's having in mind to clean it. So therefore, only that somebody that wants it to be cleaned, therefore it's considered psik reisha the nichale, and it's considered as if you miskaven to clean it. But if you like it, so although you're taking off the dew is not the malacha. So therefore, although it's a psik reisha that you're going to be misakin it, it's a psik reisha the nichale, and it's like a malacha she'ein tzricha legufa, and therefore you're potter. You could be moisif that the malacha is not taking off the dew, the malacha is to clean it and clean it totally. So how much you copied, so therefore when you're taking off the dew, you're going to have in mind to do a good job. And it's a psik reisha that you can malabin it, and you're malabin it totally. However, if it's loy copied, so you're merely going to take it off, you're not going to wash it off well, so therefore it's a einem eskaven, and doesn't have a din of a psik reisha to be malabin it. Like that's mavur in the Ritva that says that someone's loy copied is just doing the ayin yofa ba'alma, but he's not trying to clean it off. Ayin bir alacha that has a suffix. That they were saying that if it's copied, then you chayiv, loy copied, not chayiv. What happens if somebody is menair the towel for someone else's garment, and the one that's pushing off the towel is copied, but the owner is not copied? Do you say it's totally in the person that's doing the act or the owner of the garment? So he says, that's good what the Gemara means, and the Gemara says that the story of Abaye and Rabbi Yosef, that he didn't want to give it to him because Abaye was copied, and that Rabbi Yosef said that he doesn't care about it, and we have to look at the owner of the beged, and since he doesn't care, he's not chayiv. Moving further on, the Mishnah says halacha that if someone goes bathing on Shabbos, he can't bring the towel with him, even if it's a chatzim or reves, but 10 people that will remind one another that they can't be seichet, they can't squeeze out the water, they're allowed to bring the towels back. There's a tremendous machlokes hamafarshim when it says 10 people, it's mutter. Is it specifically 10 people or even 2 people? The Rashba DAF Gziera says that the same way the halacha is on the Daf Yud Beis, that although the halacha is ein korin l'or haner, you can't read on Shabbos for the light of the fire because we're scared shamiyata. But if there's 2 people there that will remind one another, you're allowed to be korin l'or haner. So the same way over here, 10 people are allowed to bring the towels back because they'll remind one another not to squeeze out the water. So the Achronim and Medayik, since the Rashba puts it together, so the Rashba understands 2 people is mutter. However, the Tila David says that you see from the Bach, not like that, because the Magen Avram asks a kasha that the same way we find that 2 people are allowed to be koil or haner, why isn't it mutter for 2 people to ride a horse on Shabbos? The halacha is ein roichevin. You're not allowed to ride an animal on Shabbos because you might yachtich zmoira to hit the animal and make the animal go faster. But if there's two people there that will remind one another, it should be mutter the same way it's mutter to be koil or aner. On that, the Magen Avraham brings from the Bach that says that the whole heter koil or aner, when someone else is there to remind you, is only mutter l'tzorich mitzvah. However, when you're riding on an animal, it's not l'tzorich mitzvah, it's aser. And he says another teretz that was scared that you might break off a branch before the second person sits down. So Tilu David's Medayik, you see from the Bach that the whole heter of Koiril or Aner is the Tzorich mitzvah. So over here, when we're talking about bathing on Shabbos, it's not a mitzvah, it should be also for two people, and the whole heter is specifically when there's 10 people there. Now, Ayin Yeshuas Yaakov that says that since people can't be oimed without rechitza, so therefore it's considered like a tzorich mitzvah. So according to that, there won't be a raya from the Bach, not like the Rashba. Moving further on, the Mordechai over here brings from Belezer Mitz that says, from this Mishnah that says that you can't bring a towel after you dried yourself with it, you see that a wet towel is also to metaltal it because of gzeira that you might be seichet it. In the Rashba that says the only reason why we let you bathe with a towel is because ef shalamait b'lo rechitza. So this Mordechai is brought in the Ramah, and there's a tremendous ha'ara on this Mordechai. As yesh l'achgar, what's the gather of this gzeira that you can't be metaltal it because you might be seichet it? Is it a gzeir ba'alma that you might be seichet, or Chazal gave it a din of muktzah? So Shlomo Zalman Auerbach is a tremendous kasha on this Mordechai. That on one hand you see in the Mishnah Berurah and Siman Shin Ches that says that a garment that's wet ben hashmoshes is also the kuliyayma because migud is katsoy ben hashmoshes is katsoy the kuliyayma. So you see it has a din of muktzah mamish, and therefore it's also the entire day. And he asks, that's tzarachin, because over here we see in our Mishnah that there's 10 people there, you're allowed to be metaltalit. See, if there's 10 people there, you can't allow them metaltalit. Obviously, it's not muktzah. The whole isser is a gzeira that you might be seichet it. If it's a gzeira, you might be seichet it, and it has a heter, a shtamshus, either 10 people, or according to some places, even 2 people. So therefore, how could it be also as migud diskatzay ben shmoshes is the kuliyayma? And he says it's tzorchi and gadol. Perhaps you could say that there's 2 separate halachas that they chazal geyser, you can't metaltal it, and from that was neveya also a din muktzah, and that's why it's also ben shmoshes the kuliyayma. But mitzad is muktzah, how much is biyodam, they'll be able to bring it inside. Like the halacha by all muktzah, that's kol zman, that's oide biyode, you could bring it in. So that's why you need a new din. That's also because gzeir shem yischot, and mitzad that halacha gzeir shem yischot, it's mutter when you have 10 people. It's tzorchi and oid bezeh. In the achronim, there's another kash in the Magen Avraham Mavur in Siman Shin Heis of Katan Yud Aleph, that although a korm ksosis that fell into Amas Hamayim, it's warned of Kuf Chav Ches Amid Beis that it's also lataltel and it's considered vatakli mechanoi. However, a garment is mutter to wear. So the Achronim ask, well, how could it be mutter to wear? It's muktzah. Ayin Eli Rab and Tilu David that discuss perhaps there's different levels. Something that's very wet is muktzah, something that's not so wet. It's not muktzah, but tzorchi and tuva b'chol zeh. Moving further on, the one base says that's also to stand on the kark of Dumsis because it's merape. The Sefer Mishmeres Moyed asks a tremendous kasha from Al Gemara on the Bir Halacha. Over here you see that although you're not intending to be merape, you're still aser. He asks a kasha on the Bir Halacha that brings so many meforishim that understand that the Isser Refuah on Shabbos is only when you're doing an act with intention to heal yourself. So over here you see that as long as the person's sick and he's doing an action that heals himself, it's also even when he's not intending to heal himself.